Hello, friends. This is Spencer Love, your host of Over the Top Rope on the Win Column Sports Network. Don't forget you can head to wincolumnsports.ca for all of your previews, reviews, and breaking news from the world of wrestling, be it your major promotions or from the great province of Alberta, Canada.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 3 of Monday Night Shaw here on Backbreaker Media. I am Mike Maloney, Senior Engineer here at Backbreaker Media. We're going to take you to this very special interview here in just a moment. Just wanted to give you a little background on what's going on here because it is one of those car podcasts that can come a little bit out of nowhere here. Now, Kyle was a driver, helper, ring announcer for part of the Canadian Wrestling Elite Struttin and Cuttin tour that has been traveling all over Western Canada. Started out in Manitoba, working its way down to BC, heading down back through BC, down the southern part of Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and finishing in Ontario. 32 shows in 32 days. As this podcast is dropping on Monday, November 11th, they're just finishing up their show in Golden, BC, and they will be in Calgary, followed by Lethbridge and Medicine Hat over the next 3 days. Make sure you check out CWE Canada for all the details on Twitter, Instagram. Check out their Facebook page as well. They did a great job here. They always do a great job on their social media. But Kyle got the privilege of riding down from Grande Prairie to Springbrook, which is about a 7-hour drive, with the Newfoundland Hellraiser Justin Lock, as well as from Chicago, Illinois, Roy Flash Gordon, who was recently the Chilean Sea Bass on an episode of Monday Night Raw. So this is going to be broken down into 3 parts here. The first part is on the drive down. Unfortunately, they ran into a little bit of trouble halfway through. On the request of the participants, I'm not going to take out the after effect of what happened there, so they'll explain it better than I will. And then they're going to wrap up the show at Heritage Lanes in Red Deer, one of the sponsors of the CWE tour. Great interview here. These guys seem to be a lot of fun, and you know what? You're not here to listen to me, you're here to listen to them. Make sure you check out CWE on all their social media, as well as check out Kyle Shaw at RCW Fallout coming up this Saturday for the St. John's Community Center in Edmonton. Well, with that, let's take you to our big interview here on Monday Night Shaw.
Okie dokie guys, how's it going? This is your friendly neighborhood ring announcer, Kyle Shaw from RCW, Real Canadian Wrestling. Normally that's what the podcast is about, but we're on the road here. It's me and Justin Lock from St. John's, Newfoundland, and in the back seat we got Roy Flash Gordon there from Chicago, Illinois, and we're actually on a Canadian Wrestling Elite tour right now. We're on our way to Springbrook from Grande Prairie. Boys, we had a show last night in Grande Prairie. It was Halloween night. Justin, how do you think it went?
I think it went great. It was an awesome crowd, very loud. I actually had a match against Stampede Wrestling legend, I guess, Billy Yates. Brutus the Bear Beefcake was special enforcer.
Oh yeah, you got your hair cut too, didn't you?
Don't even be talking about that, brother.
Roy, did you have fun last night?
Oh yeah, the crowd was fantastic. It was my second time in Grande Prairie, and they came out the first time, and last time they came out even stronger. Energy was nuts. They were super into it, having a fun time. I faced Reka from the DDT guys, and just had a fun match. fun time with the crowd. And I look forward to going back to Grande Prairie sometime soon for sure.
Nice. Yeah, we got the three fellas from DDT. Are they all three of them from DDT?
Pretty sure.
All three from DDT for sure. I know Rick is Taiwanese. I don't think he's Japanese. I believe Naomi is Japanese though as well, and of course Shiggy is Japanese also.
Yeah, they're all pretty talented fellas. So, Justin, you're from Newfoundland there. When did you get your start in wrestling?
Well, originally I started training back in 2003, 2004 with Cutting Edge Wrestling. And at the time, Vince Austin was running things down there. You know Vince, I take it.
Oh, yeah, I know Vince for sure, but just okay.
Yeah, so I got my start back in 2005, July 2005. I was booked last minute in a match against a guy called The Clone. And yeah, I was at the time beyond green. I didn't have a clue what I was doing in the ring. I just knew like the basic bumps and whatnot.
And you were trained by Vince Austin?
Yeah, I got my start with him. Like, it was, I wouldn't say it was a lot of in-ring training. It was more or less you were booked on shows. I sort of like, it was almost like job shadowing. You were
okay, learning while you're doing type thing. Basically learning while Vince Austin beats you up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Back then, sure, you were booked like most every match involved like tables, thumbtacks, barbed wire, that sort of thing. So.
Oh, so it's the same sort of thing that the NVR is still doing today.
Yeah, I've seen you.
Right. And how about you there, Roy? You're from Chicago. When did you get your start? Who trained you and whatnot?
I'm going on my 5th year. It'll be 5 years in February, and so I started training in Chicago with a company called Chicago Style Wrestling. Trainer there is a man by the name of Steve Boz. Trained there for about a year and a half. Decided I needed some more from a trainer, so I started with a man named Kevin Quinn, who was just returning from LA, and he's done work with the New Japan Dojo when I was back in LA, and UPW back then, so he's worked with a lot of guys and helped me out a lot for the past few years. So he's been working there, around Chicago, some Wisconsin, some Minnesota, some a little bit of East Coast stuff in the States, and a lot of Canada these days, so it's been pretty fun.
Did you meet Danny down in Minnesota? Because I think he does a lot of wrestling down there, doesn't he?
I did not. I just was looking for places to find some work. I came across CWE. Mentioned a tour was coming in a few months. That Tony Casino would be on the tour, taking care of the young guys. So I came, worked with Danny and Tony mostly on that tour, and learned a lot, and I just kept coming back. I maybe missed one full tour, but I've been at least part of most of the tours since then. That was about 2 years ago.
Oh, right on, bud. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer that Tony's not here. I was kind of expecting him to be on the tour, but I know he's in New Zealand training fellas right now.
Yeah, this is my first time on tour without Tony, which is kind of weird. But I know he's really enjoying what he's doing right now with training the guys. But he loves being on tour in Canada. He loves Canada. He'll definitely be back. If not by the next tour, I imagine soon after. But I do imagine he'll be back by next tour. Just finding a way to make that work. But he's enjoying what he's doing in New Zealand. I talk to him at least a couple times a week. He's been super influential for me as well. So I definitely miss him here, but I'm happy that he's getting to spread his wings for sure.
Yeah, Tony's fantastic. He's didn't he have a hand in training Davey Richards?
Davey Richards, Kyle O'Reilly. He's training right now with the underboss Fale at his school in New Zealand, which is directly connected to New Japan. So those three are his boys for sure.
GPS signal lost.
I'm sure he's come across a good deal of the other guys, but Kyle, Davey, and Fale, definitely he's spent a lot of time with them.
Nice. And like when you just look at like their prowess, like Davey Richards, Kyle O'Reilly. Like, I can't speak much to Folly. I haven't seen much of his work or whatnot, but Kyle and Davey are both fucking awesome. Like, just like fantastic.
Agreed.
Yeah. So, like, you mentioned like Canada, and you're from the States. So, like, is there any like culture shock when you come up here? Like, is it like just so different to you, or is it pretty much the same? Just like
Americans suck.
Oh, really?
It's culture shock. No, every time I've come to Canada, everyone's been great. You always hear about Canadians being more friendly than U.S. people, and I do believe that is 100% true. I feel as a wrestler, I've been more appreciated here. Not that I'm not back home, but I think, especially in Chicago, there's a big, like, there's independent wrestling, and there's, like, I don't know if more made-for-TV wrestling is the way to call it, but, there's different styles. At home, there is definitely a big appreciation of the more indie style, which tends to be more flippy, maybe more dangerous, less guys who could go and work a TV match and be ready for TV. If you can go and flip and are willing to kill yourself for the crowd at all times, like, I feel like you get more appreciation there, and that's among a lot of different factors. Here, I feel like, especially on Danny's shows, that there's definitely a spread. He tries to have a variety show. There's heavyweight wrestling, and there's high-flying wrestling, and there's more of a fast-paced indie style, but there's also the slower-paced, more like maybe TV style, more family-friendly style, and everything in between. Whereas back home, I do, and I'm just talking Chicago. Back home, it's different in different regions for sure. But in Chicago, I feel like fast-paced indie is far more appreciated than, say, it having a full variety sort of show. So, wrestling-wise, for me, I feel like I've been able to get a full gambit of styles of working, and coming here and working at home. And experiencing different crowds and fans has been beneficial to me, but I definitely will say there's a difference between the fans and what they appreciate across the board.
Yeah, for sure. Like, Chicago's like a mainstay for like Ring of Honor, right? So that's sort of like the style of wrestling they're used to there.
Yeah, Ring of Honor always goes. AEW is one of the bigger promotions there. Like, you think Chicago and it's big promotions, AEW is one of them, and it's super indie style for sure, and that's like what they eat up. And there's other promotions that run a similar way, but there's a lot of different promotions that do try the more family style, or the more spread out style of independent wrestling, which I don't think get the chance to shine. One, because level of talent, which is a whole nother topic, but also because just that indie style is more appreciated for sure.
And Justin, you're from Newfoundland,
Yes,
so there's got to be a culture shock for you coming over to Alberta.
Oh, big time. Like, this ain't my first time coming to Alberta. I actually came up here in 2010 and did some training with PWA, Tex Gaines, and Andrew Hawk was actually helping out there then. And I'll never forget my first time. Like, at that point, I was never out of Newfoundland, and getting off the plane and like driving through Edmonton, like, and seeing like the big, like, tall, like, skyscraper type buildings and all that shit. Like, it was just like, holy fuck. Like, I thought St. John's was a big city, but Edmonton now is probably 5 times the size of it. So, and then, like, in St. John's, I know where I'm going to, and like don't have to use GPS and all that shit. So like now it's like I'm just in a car hoping the driver knows where he's going and whatnot. But like for the most part, like it's a culture shock, but still I like it. Like it's a change from what I'm used to, and getting to like work this CWE tour with Danny and all his crew is so far. This will be my 4th show in tonight, and like it's been great. Like I'm getting all kinds of experience, getting to work with different styles, like work with like bigger guys, because usually I'm like one of the bigger guys down in Newfoundland. Being 250 pounds down there, I'd say that like it's like a mix. Like there's like a lot of cruiserweight style guys, and then there's like a few bigger ones. But like here, I feel like a small guy. Like when I'm in the locker room and going up against someone like Tyler Colton or
there's
like
a lot of like corn-fit boys out there.
Yeah, but like it's been great. And the tour so far, like even from the start, it's been awesome and whatnot. But it sure ain't Newfoundland, put it that way.
Oh yeah. Look, do you think they could do a 30-day tour in Newfoundland?
Oh, for sure. Like we've got some talented wrestlers down there. The company I work for right now, New Evolution Wrestling, they're running shows. Well, they run roughly once a month, but the promoter ran a tour this past summer with Rene Dupree on the full tour, and then Ron Simmons came in for the big show in St. John's.
Oh, nice.
And like, yeah, it's a big following there. We're getting sold out crowds pretty much, and we're on 2 different TV channels on Saturday. We're on Rogers TV on Saturday night 9:30, and that's just a local channel down there.
Yeah.
And recently we got a TV deal with NTV, and every Saturday we're on there at 1 p.m.
Nice.
And yeah, it's great exposure, and like
you're currently the inter-provincial champion too, right?
Yeah, it's my second time holding the title, and yeah, it's pretty well booming down in Newfoundland. I gotta say, like it's never been better in my opinion. Like it's a tongue-tied now, but it's the fans love it. It's always like loud, like energetic crowd, and like the wrestlers got a lot of passion down there. It's like a lot of them I think need more tours like this, because like wrestling once a month and then like
you're off for a month and you get rusty.
Yeah, you get out of condition, like you're getting blown up then, and like that's when you end up fucking up and stuff. But the guys down there are great. They're all learning, and I'm sure this is just the start of more newfies coming out this way to.
If you had, like, we were just talking to Roy back there, and he was saying that in Chicago it's a big, like, flippy indie-style wrestling that they appreciate.
Yeah.
What about, what would you say about the style of wrestling in Newfoundland? Is it more just, like, a lot of brawling and, like...
Well, there's a fair amount of brawling, but we also got some good high flyers. There's a couple new guys that came in there absolutely nuts. Like, some of the stuff they try... You wouldn't catch me doing it. Like, I've always been more of a technical brawler type guy, but like, yeah, there's a mix of like high flying, brawling, technical, like same as anywhere else. And usually the show's got like a variety of it. And then you have sometimes your crazy gimmick match or whatnot. But yeah, it seems like the same as up here, except it's just a different bunch of talent and whatnot. But yeah,
right on. So, how did you like working with Brutus the Barber Beefcake?
Well, it was good until he cut my hair, because anyone knows me, my long hair, it's almost like a religion to me. Like I would never cut it unless I go bald, and I don't see myself going bald anytime soon. And the fact that Brutus tried to give me a little trim when I sure as hell didn't need it, yeah.
So do you think you're going to find yourself on the opposite side of the ring from Brutus again? Like, or at least
I hope for his sake I don't. I really hope for Brutus' sake I'm not on the opposite side, because after last night I got a score to settle on.
Oh yeah, you're going to mess his face up worse than it was when he was at WrestleMania 9 or whatnot?
Well, put it this way. If he was across from me right now, I'd want to break him in half with the gore. And it wouldn't be his face, it'd be his ribs and everything else that would be crumbled. The guy right now, he seems like he's had his fair share of injuries, but he hasn't been in the ring with me. I'd show him what injuries were.
Fair enough. Have you had the chance to work with Brutus at all, Roy?
I have not at all.
No, I mean, there's still a number of days left on the tour, so I'd be surprised if you made it the entire tour without having to work alongside or opposite of Brutus, at least at one point. Are you looking forward to that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Anytime I can, mix it up with the guys, and Danny brings a lot of them on tour. Anytime I can mix it up with them, or help them out, or just get a chance to get a word from them about their experience, or like to see if they see my match or anything, and any advice or critiques. It's something I like to take advantage of. So definitely looking forward to some time in Brutus over the tour.
Yes, like all seriousness, like he's an awesome guy, and like when you have him, like when you have a worker like that in the locker room, like a legend who's been around for decades and stuff, it's one of the best things in my opinion, because like the stuff you hear, and like sometimes if they even give you pointers on your match, like
is to help you put your match together and stuff. Like he's going to be invaluable for that sort of thing,
100%, yep.
So Roy, you quite recently appeared on Monday Night Raw as a Chilean Sea Bass. Was that your gimmick?
I did.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's just when they're around, they occasionally need extra guys. They'll get some local guys to come and hang out, and occasionally you need extra bodies to do things, and I needed a Chilean Sea Bass, so I stepped up to the plate, and that was fun. But even more fun was the response after it, because many Chilean fans reached out afterwards, and I think first night they thought it was Chilean, and soon after they knew I wasn't, but still, like, the messages and follows and things of that nature just kept coming. I think within...
So did it start off as like praise and like, oh, yay?
It was all praise. It was all praise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so you weren't
praise.
getting heat for being
no,
a poser?
No, I didn't get any heat. I thought I would, but no, they were like, thanks for representing our country. Like, come wrestle our greatest champion. Just like, they're like, are you coming to WWE Chile? I'm just like, oh my God, like, probably not. But thank you for wanting me there, even though I'm not Chilean. But I don't know. They just, like that their country is shouted out. I don't know that their indie wrestling scene is huge. I know it exists, but I don't know that it's huge, or that many people have come out of Chile to go on to make it big in the business or whatever. Just having Chile associated with something on WWE television, I think, is something they appreciated. And sure. I definitely appreciated them all reaching out. Super cool. And it shows, like, the powerhouse that WWE is. Like, I had a front and center, like, shot on the screen for maybe, 4 or 5 seconds. But, like, in that time, like, they all were like, oh, Chile, like, that's what's up. Like, I had like about 350 new followers by the end of that week on Instagram alone.
Oh wow!
On Twitter, a lot of requests on Facebook and follows on Facebook. But Instagram was huge. A lot of messages. Some guy did some fan art that got shared like crazy. So it's been cool. It's been really cool. It was a fun week.
All right, that's awesome. But have you noticed like an increase of like guys in the crowd going, "Hey, kick his ass, Sea Bass"?
Oh, definitely, definitely.
I heard that like last night or whatever, and I was like, I wonder if there's been an increase just because.
There's been one. There's been one or two each show since then. I think I maybe had that weekend following off, so it wasn't as hot as it could have been. But I'll take it. I don't want Flash and Sea Bass being too confused for sure.
Did you, so when you showed up there and whatnot, you told me that IRS, gave you the gimmick or whatever?
Yeah, so he's one of the agents that works backstage on Raw, and among other legends, and there's even people who weren't necessarily legends in the business, but been around the business, or people who it's just their job to be an agent, or they've learned from guys who were agents who were guys in the business before them, that they each get a segment or two, maybe even 3. I don't fully know how it works, but they get their segments and they go and they tell everyone how things need to go. And
I imagine it's very different from like working on a Canadian independent show. Like,
oh, extremely different.
I can't imagine
different.
I mean, I know
it is a machine for sure.
And sorry.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, you know, we don't get agents for our matches or anything. We get to go and just do whatever we want to do. But even in a sense, if it was a segment like, so the World Cup segment, the purpose of that was to introduce the World Cup tournament that would happen at Crown Jewel, but also it was like it's kind of a comedy segment as well, with these like hokey international characters. So, you know, if the promoter ever wanted something like that on an indie show, he would be that guy. But, you know, Vince McMahon or you know, Triple H aren't dealing with every single segment personally. You know, but they definitely do say we want it to go like this. Like, for example, Mr. Rotunda, go handle this. You know, so that's how that was. And so IRS was there, and there's like a line of us, and he's just like, "You will be this, you will be that, you will be this."
Was he coming up with these ideas, or was he just delegating?
He's
them?
Delegating, yes.
Okay.
Yes. You know, you hear stories about Vince McMahon, and he said. Vince wants this for the segment, and it surprised me that for like a goofy comedy segment that like Vince McMahon would be like, oh yeah, we definitely need a Chilean Sea Bass, but I could also, like, you know, you hear like stories about him having a sense of humor like that it sounds exactly like something. Those stories are true that would be said in the producers meeting. So like, that's an example of the higher up, like, you know, saying I want this from it, but, like, you know, go make it happen, like Mr. Rotunda, for example.
I hear you. Yeah, no, it's just like when I think about like RCW and stuff, like there'll be times when I'll just think of something to do, right? Like, or like the organization level, like,
signal lost.
I'm not trying to shit on RCW or CWE or any of the other small time federations, but like, we had a match last month in Calgary at RCW, and it ended with schmoz, and two fellas jumped in the ring, and they were in like police uniforms, and I was like, what the fuck are these guys? Yeah. Like, nobody told me, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm the fucking ring announcer.
Yep,
so I'm just...
that you might want to know.
Yeah.
People should know.
Maybe give me a heads up, right? So, like, match ends, and Merck's like, oh, next month it's going to be a 6-man tag, me and these two security guards. Like, I don't even think Merck knew who the fuck they were. Like, so I was just like, I mean, I'm glad I didn't like announce like their names or anything, because like I had met them backstage, and they're like, hi, I'm Kenny, and I'm Ryan, and I'm like, okay, well, they're out in the ring, and they were in this like hardcore like security gimmick or whatever, like almost like a low-red version of the Shield. And, you know, I was like, I can't just be like, next month it's going to be Kenny and Ryan and Zach the Universe Mercury. Like, you know, like... So I was just like I was saying about delegating ideas, I just had to come up with something on the fly. It was like, next month it's going to be Zach Mercury and the RCW Special Forces. You know, like... Just... like the level of organization is just so like non-existent sometimes, that you're just required to go off the fly, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Which is, I think, that's part of one of the things I like about independent wrestling, you know, is the creative freedom. When you won the championship there, the Interprovincial NEW Championship, it's NEW, right?
Yep.
Who did you win the belt off of?
It was actually a triple threat back in May. It was Sheik Aziz, which he hails from Baghdad, Iraq.
Okie dokie.
And Bulldog Brandon Hines from Ontario was the champion. And anyway, Brandon hit a move in the match. I believe it was his finisher. I forget what it is now. Lack of coffee or something. I can't think this hour of the day, but anyway, he hit Sheik with his move. I shit-canned him out the ring and got the pin on Sheik, and Brandon actually
dirty heel.
Actually, no, it's triple threat, every man for himself. Nothing heel about it. I just wanted the belt. I got the win. Then after the match, I'll tell you, after the match is when the whole heel stuff happened. Because Brandon got a bit sooky that he lost his belt, and it decided as he was passing me the belt as a sign of respect to get me right between the eyes with the belt, and turned on me, turned on his fans, and now he's one of the more hated fellows down in Newfoundland.
So are you guys like embroiled in a rivalry right now?
Yeah, well, there's actually two promotions down in Newfoundland. There's NEW and CEW, the one that Vince Austin Gord started there like almost 20 years ago.
Cutting edge, right?
Yeah. So we're boating them. Most of the guys are in boat. There's a few that only do one, but anyway, me and Brandon actually got a real bitter feud in CEW, and the last show back in August, I believe, we had a match because he's the North Atlantic champion down there, and I was wrestling him for that because I love gold and I wanted to win that belt too and build my collection. So anyway, we had a knockdown, drag out brawl. End of the match, he got I forget how. I think he used a chain or something to get his cheap win. And then after the match, or actually I think it was during, my manager tanked this new girl who started training and working on shows or whatever.
It's a girl named Tank?
Yes.
Is she like a large girl?
Oh God, no.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, she got in the ring, and I think I'm not sure. I'd had to watch the video footage again to see exactly what happened. But long story short, Brandon super kicked her right in the face. And
damn.
Yeah, so our feud then went from here to skyrocketed because.
Well, he just kicked. I mean, I don't know. Is Tank like? Are you guys like an item? Is she more than just your ringside manager, or is this a business relationship?
Put it this way: we both like to raise hell, and we're good friends in that regard. And I like to have her on my side down there because there's a lot of cheeky managers who like to stick their nose in. So,
but you don't like it when people kick her in the face.
No. Well, she's a tough girl. Like, I know she can handle herself, like she shook it off like a champ, but yeah, you put your hands on a girl or like that girl being my manager, that just makes that feud intensify, and pretty well I've been waiting to get some revenge on him. It hasn't happened yet, but it will.
Fair enough. So who, like, if you had to say like your top like 2 or 3 rivalries in Newfoundland, who have they been with? And give us a little bit of a story about who your opponents are and the kind of talent you're facing out there.
Well, I feuded with practically everyone down there. Like, I've had, well, Vince Austin was my very first feud. Like, we beat the fuck out of each other several times down there, like back when I was first getting going. Then I had, what was it? Well, there's a guy down there, Tony King. I had a really big feud with him back in 2015, and well, that was over the Newfoundland Heritage title, and he ended up cheating his way over that. He won the belt and kept it for about a year and a half, I think. And then who was it? Sheik Aziz, he's one that I've been going back and forth with. Another guy, Matt Wheeler. Like, now at the show there last Friday night, I defended the interprovincial title against Johnny Devine, Hotshot Johnny.
Oh, okay.
He's being impacted. He's
been around Alberta a lot. Yeah,
so I had a pretty brutal match with him, but I retained the title. And after that match, a good friend of mine, Scott Humphreys, the Redefinition, who also got his start up here with Massive Damage, but he's from Newfoundland.
Okay.
He came out, and he's the NEW heavyweight champion, and he basically challenged me to, in all respect, to a match December 29th in St. John's, title versus title. So that's going to be my next big match down there, where...
December the 29th, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, that's like right before New Year's.
It is. That's usually our anniversary show every year, and this will be our 3rd year.
So I guess a safe assumption, your New Year's resolution is to walk into 2019 as a double champion?
Oh, you're fucking right, man. That's the plan. But in all seriousness, I'm looking forward to wrestling Scotty. Like, we've been good friends for a long time, and like every time I've wrestled him, it's been it's been a good match. So
It's like the old saying goes, or whatever, you know, good friends, better enemies.
exactly. And also on that show, we got Justin Gabriel coming in.
Oh, word.
Yeah, so that was just announced, I think, day before yesterday. So
Roy, have you ever wrestled against Justin Gabriel?
I have not.
No, I think that would be a fantastic match. You guys have like a similar sort of style, like with the fast pace,
Super fun for sure.
athleticism and whatnot. Who would be your top 3 rivalries there in your career?
Back home?
Sure, yeah.
No particular order. There's one guy by the name of Craig Mitchell. Trained together. Currently holds the title at my home promotion. I consider to be Freelance Underground, which is a promotion in Chicago, based in Chicago, works around Chicago. And we've had several matches against several different promotions that are just been super fun, super intense matches. Definitely a favorite opponent of mine. Another one, probably the Pat Monix, though we have not worked singles this year. We had several last year, and we're just like clamoring for the next one. Again, similar styles. One of the great, like, good kid, and he's like just a huge up and comer in the States right now. He's getting all over the place. People are knowing his name and stuff.
What was his name again?
Pat Monix.
Pat Monix.
And yeah, look him up. Great kid. Extremely likable. He's learning a lot. He's getting out there. We've definitely taken similar paths. He started a little after me, but he's definitely like on my level of exposure, or probably beyond my level of exposure, honestly. So it's kind of like, you know, good friends, but like kind of chasing that goal, taking completely different paths, but like very much on the same trajectory. And we just have great matches together. Every single time has been a fun one. I look forward to the next one. But definitely like a rival in the ring, but also like outside of it in like the healthy way of like, you know, we're both like, you know, really fired up trying to grow our careers, and you know, definitely pushing each other in the way that, oh, he's gotten this far, well, I need to do this to get to it as well.
I hear, so like sort of like a friendly competition type deal. Like.
And then the next one would be my former tag team partner, a guy by the name of Tony Nas. We were the Tag Team Superiority Complex for a couple years. We actually came here together on our first tour as that tag team. And about, I'd say, the beginning of the year, you know, he had some feelings about my trajectory and his trajectory as singles people not really going the same way, and
GPS signal lost.
decided he wanted to go separate ways, and of course we had to fight about it.
I've been there, man.
Well,
Yeah.
you should have. If he had held out just long enough, he could have come here and we could have redone the barbershop window thing.
No, definitely, man. It's sick.
So, of the Tag Team Superiority Complex, are you the Marty or the Sean?
Oh, I'm big time the Sean. He's the
nice.
Marty, and I will make sure he hears this just to be reminded of that. But we told each other that the other person was the Marty for while we were a tag team, for sure. But yeah, we had a great match back in April. He actually got involved in my match with Craig Mitchell, a previously mentioned rival, back in, I believe, June or something. We were actually in a fatal four-way with Craig Mitchell and another individual just this past Saturday. And as soon as I'm home from the back end of tour, we're actually going to face each other in a Falls Count Anywhere match on Black Wednesday, which is the day before our Thanksgiving in the U.S. So, far from over with Tony Nas, for sure. So, looking forward to Black Wednesday and that Falls Count Anywhere match.
Right on. So we've already promoted 2 matches here on the podcast. We got the one on December the 29th for the NEW Heavyweight Championship.
And the interprovincial title versus title.
It's a double title match?
Oh,
okay. It's a double title match. And then we also have the Falls Count Anywhere match on Black Wednesday, and that's going to be in Chicago?
In Chicago, just outside of Chicago, for Freelance Underground Wrestling.
Freelance Underground Wrestling, sweet deal. Awesome. So do you boys have any, like, stories of, like, maybe some small little, like, funny mistakes or anything? Like, I know that, like, one time I was doing the 50-50 draw, and I accidentally backhanded the little kid that came in the ring to draw the numbers. I was like, and now, and I accidentally, like, just, it was a total accident, smacked this kid in the face, right?
Wow.
Like, do you have any, like, funny stories like that?
You got ones? I'm just trying to think.
I'm sure. I was just trying
It doesn't have to involve physical violence against children.
I've had plenty of fuck-ups in shows, like, botched plenty of moves, and, like, well, one time, this is back in, I'd say, 2005, like, I shouldn't even have been in the ring at this point, but, like, I think Gord was even involved in the match, but there was, like, an 8-man tag, and at the finishing spot was all of us, I think it was 3 of us were going to be on 3 separate tables, and one guy was going to come off to the outside doing like a frog splash.
Okie dokie.
I was the first person put on the fucking table, and what happened, the fucking legs basically come out from under, and I went through the table basically by lying on it. So that was not only like a funny thing, but very embarrassing. I remember like being like, holy fuck, I'm such a fat piece of shit, but like,
That's awesome.
Well, in show business, they say never work with children or animals.
Oh, fuck.
But I think tables could be added to the list because they don't like to cooperate. You know what I mean?
But I've seen some pretty good fuck ups though from other people. Like I can remember.
Oh yeah, like anytime, like at least like 70% of the time they bust out a table in a Japanese match. You're like, oh, that table's not gonna break.
Well, this other one time I remember, I'd say back in 2008 probably, I was wrestling for RPW down in Newfoundland, and the promoter at the time, Mike Barrington, he was supposed to do a run-in for a fucking spot, and we had the stage type built for the entranceway, and when it was his time to run out and start, like, do his mic spot or whatever, he went to run. All of a sudden, like, Mike's a big guy, all of a sudden he hears a thud because he ran up, tripped down the steps, and basically made his entrance through the curtain going face first on the fucking entranceway. I thought he was dead. Like
that's almost as bad as Gunnar falling out of the ring while he's trying to.
No, that is gold. Like I've never met that guy, but fuck, props to him for that. Like I know it was a fuck up, but you know.
Oh, he's got
fucking famous now.
Oh yeah, no, I bought a T-shirt. It says Gunnar, the best ever entrance ever, and it's just a picture of him backwards falling out of the ring. Did you see that video, Roy? Of Gunnar?
Is that the one that was going on recently?
Yeah.
Yeah, he steps over the top rope, and then he steps in again, and then he backflips out of the ring. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That is the best entrance ever, and God bless him for...
Someone must have been looking after him that night, like, that could have been career-ending or fatal. Like, you smack your head off the concrete from that height, like, fuck.
Right. Well, he actually, he kind of, like, he smacked the back of his head sort of on the ring apron, and then flipped out to the floor. Like, there's another video.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, you can see, like, right as soon as he lands, he, like, looks at his hand, like, puts his hand on the back of his head, checks for blood. There's no blood, and he's like, okay, and then he gets right back up, he steps in the ring, and he proceeds to powerbomb some motherfucker through 3 tables, you know?
Yeah, or through doors, ain't it?
Yeah, it was through 3 doors.
Fuck.
Yeah. There was that guy, he powerbombed the Story of the Night, Braden Lewis. That was his moniker. He came up to me, he was like, yeah, Kyle, just so you know, my new moniker for tonight is I'm the Story of the Night. And I was like, well, the Story of the night was the guy botched his entrance when he was coming to powerbomb you through 3 tables there, but you know, but yeah, for sure. No, props to Braden Lewis though for, you know, going through 3 tables. Like, homeboy got his ass kicked there, but he, you know, mad respect. He showed up the next month, and then even next month, November the 10th, our next Edmonton show for RCW, Braden Lewis and his tag partner Dean Richter are going to be facing off against NVR.
Oh.
And it's I would imagine it's going to be pretty brutal because the NVR has not been... They don't have a lot of like standard tag team matches.
Well, that's Newfoundland, man.
Yeah,
we're all batshit crazy.
That's why I was asking you if it was all brawls out there.
Oh, man.
Like, every time I see guys from Newfoundland wrestle, like at the very least, they're like, okay, well, we're not going to use any weapons tonight, but lay it the fuck in, boys. You know, like
I just got to whiff the bacon that time, boys.
Oh yeah, we just passed 2 cop cars here.
But yeah, like Newfoundlanders have been known to be crazy, and like I've been in the ring with both members of the NBR years ago, and I think as the years go by, the two of them just get more and more insane, and like I pity those two guys that are wrestling them. Like I hope they pack a lunch for that one because they're gonna need all the help they can get, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I mean, I don't think you get paid by the hour to fight the Newfoundland Viking Rage.
Oh, for fuck's sakes!
I don't know if we're being pulled over here or what.
Well,
all right.
Pause
this when we get
hopefully we don't get arrested.
Yeah.
If you like podcasts and you are listening to them on Backbreaker Media, then you should listen to me, Chris Parrish,
And myself, Manina.
and the Sounds of Struggle, because we are literally the most entertaining duo you'll ever come across in Western Canadian wrestling, baby.
We talk about things like wrestling,
And other sports we like.
like wrestling.
But we won't talk about other sports that we don't like, because it's not that kind of podcast.
Like wrestling
I mean, we like hockey,
and wrestling
and we like football,
and wrestling.
and we also like to drink beer.
While wrestling,
Well, not while wrestling, but while watching wrestling.
yes.
Yeah. If you want to get into a conversation with Maniac and Chris Parrish, then you need to tune into the Sounds of Struggle live on Backbreaker Media.
Every Thursday.
It's when we hope to draw, but sometimes Mike Malawany doesn't do his job right.
Or we're too drunk to forget.
Yeah, that happens too.
Yeah.
He can bleep out the swear word because we weren't supposed to do that.
Oh,
But
I'll try not to swear. Ah, I can't do it.
yeah, let's face it, the two of us, we're real,
And spectacular.
and we're a little bit of all right.
Yeah,
We're also Strugglicious.
that we
That
are.
was kind of the key. Supposed to be Strugglicious.
Oh, sorry, I'm drunk.
Yeah. So, if you don't want to listen to us, then no, you're stupid because we're entertaining. And if you want to listen to us, then come listen to us on Backbreaker Media.
Yeah, what he said.
Later, bitches.
Hey, you're on.
All right, we're back. We just got pulled over, and
Aggressively pointing for dude to roll down this window.
we're just gonna.
So the day's off to a fucking dandy start.
Oh yeah, it's fuck. This is such a
Leaves the boys back by accident, now the fucking cops.
yeah.
Great.
And not only did we get $89 for being, I think he said 5 kilometers over the speed limit.
No, he gave you a break. It was actually way
Yeah,
more involved.
no, he said we were going 132. I did have my cruise control on at 120, but the speed limit is 110. So, I mean, I guess technically even if I was going 120, which is what I thought, we're going over the speed limit, but I always was under the impression there was like a 10-kilometer grace or whatever. But yeah, so like he gave me $89 ticket for speeding, which that sucks, but you know, whatever, like it is what it is, and you just got to take care of it. But then I also, apparently my left tail light is out, so I got $79 fucking ticket for that. Excuse my language. I'm a little fired up right now. This trip is now costing me about $200, and that's a bummer, a big time bummer, because I don't have $200. But what are you gonna do? Live and learn. Hopefully, we'll stop at a rest joint here, a rest stop, and relax for a little while, and wait for the Japanese fellas to come by, and yeah, we can tell them the story. And, Yeah, hopefully there's a good crowd in Springbrook and get a little bit of money for the show tonight.
Fuck. What a bad fucking start. Like, we were being so productive. Well, I was up at 8 o'clock. You were up shortly after, and like we hit the road bright and early. Everything was going fine, and then Danny calls us. We forgot to get the boys, well, we didn't know we had to get them. Like, I'm sticking to that.
The thing is,
but
I wasn't aware.
But yeah, hopefully it's not a sign that this show is gonna be bad. Like, what's next? The ring's gonna fucking break, or like.
And, I mean, the thing is, it is a Springbrook show. I mean, I don't know. Like, last few times CWE's been in Springbrook, it hasn't been too bad. But I know that for our CW, we were once in a while getting some pretty lousy numbers. What I'm saying is, I really, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not in this for the money, but now that I have a, $150 worth of fucking speeding tickets and traffic citations, he did say there's no demerit though for the burnt out lamp there, but it's another thing too, because I noticed on the way I hit the windshield wipers to do the windshield wiper cleaning thing, and I was out of cleaning fluid. So I put some more fluid in this morning, and then we're leaving Grande Prairie, and I started the windshield wiper cleaning thing up. I turn the wipers on, and now the rubber's coming off one of my wipers. So the rubber already came off the other one, but that was like the passenger side, so it was like, not a big deal. I'll just leave it the way it is. But now that the rubber's coming off the driver's side, it's like I'm gonna have to get those windshield wipers replaced, get that tail light fixed. And then I'm going to have to, pay those speeding tickets, which sucks. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Well, I guess it could be worse. It could be like flat tires or fucking ring truck broke down or one of those things.
It could be far worse.
Or an accident.
Looks like we're in this little town here, so we'll stop here somewhere and
we're going to eat
slow down. Bacon and eggs.
It's a funny story. When I was living in Edmonton 8 years ago.
Turn right onto Alberta 32 South, Alberta 43 South.
Fuck off, GPS. Yeah, but I was living there, and like me and Gore being from Newfoundland, fish and chips is a big thing there, and it was Good Friday.
Yeah.
So we went to Humpty's to get a fish and chips, and it was the biggest fucking disappointment ever. It was like processed fish, like frozen processed fish, like heated up in McCain fries. It was the biggest bummer, but I've had our food at Humpty's, so I'm looking forward to this.
I hope this is all right. Okay, well, I guess we can cut the podcast here for now, and I might record some more after we pick up the Japanese fellas, or after they get dropped off. But for now, we're just gonna call it a day so I can stew and be angry about my traffic problems.
Well, that's probably the real stuff you want to put on this podcast.
Yeah.
Kyle Shaw loses his fucking mind.
This is your main man RJ from the Ringside Rant, heard only on the Visionaries Wrestling Network. So go over and subscribe across all your major platforms, iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Stitcher to hear every great interview I have every Monday on the Visionaries Wrestling Network. Go over and follow the show's page on Twitter @_Ringside Rant. Follow the network's page @BizWrestleNet. And, as always, embrace the vision.
Hey guys, this is your friendly neighborhood ring announcer Kyle Shaw here, and I'm just going to close out the show here. I'm with Justin Lock.
What's up?
And Roy Flash Gordon.
What's up, guys?
Okay, earlier tonight, last time you heard from us, we were pulling into Humpty's there. We had forgotten to pick up the Japanese fellas.
God damn it.
Just been pulled over by the police, and I got $180 worth of fucking citations.
Paying your dues, kid. That's exactly what this was today.
100%. So anyway, I just wanted to close off with you fellas here. Tonight, you boys both wrestled. Roy Flash, you wrestled against Rekka again, and you wrestled against Tyler Colton. Apparently,
Canadian Hercules.
The Canadian Hercules, Tyler Colton. I heard your match in Saskatoon didn't go so well, but the one tonight was fucking awesome.
Oh, 100 times better, man.
Way better?
Yep.
You feel good about it?
Yes, man. He's an awesome guy to wrestle, and like he's like me. He likes to keep it snug and lay it in, and There's not like better in a match like that, and I look forward to wrestling him again and getting the win on him, because tonight I got ripped off.
Right on. And Roy, tons of athleticism, technicality, lots of ankle locks and whatnot in your match. How do you feel it went tonight?
Fantastic. Rick is a great competitor. I feel like just scratch the surface of what we can do in the past couple of nights, and I do hope we get an opportunity, especially when I'm feeling more, 100% injury-wise, to like really go and get another chance to do this. So great night, fun match. I had a good time.
I don't know if we even touched on your injury. You kind of suffered a concussion there a couple of days ago. How's that been treating you?
Getting better every day. I've got a lingering headache, but it's definitely better tonight than it was last night. Definitely better than the first night. So symptoms are subsiding. You still need to be careful with it, but I feel good.
Fair enough. Do you have any worry that any of your fabulous red locks will be trimmed off by Brutus the Barber by the end of the tour here? I know our boy Justin here has already experienced that.
Yeah, but I needed the trim anyway, so he actually did me a favor. He is too dumb to realize, but Brutus is a good guy, so he's a legend.
I think I will be safe. He'd have to catch me first.
Well, it's not him you got to worry about. He's usually in cahoots with someone that's put you in a sleeper. Before long, you're out, and then you're missing a few inches of hair, like what happened to me last night. But
they got to catch me first too.
All right.
Run, Roy, run.
Should they catch you inside or outside?
Doesn't matter, because they won't catch me.
You're not going to take the bait, eh?
Definitely not.
Fair enough.
As you can tell, we had a few shots.
Yeah. It's late in the evening here. We're at the Heritage Lanes after party. We want to give a shout out to Heritage Lanes. Thank you very much for hosting our after party. We've indulged in. Roy here has not indulged in any alcohol or other now legalized Canadian indulgences, but me and Justin Lock have both indulged in both. Anyway, thanks a lot for listening to Monday Night Shaw this week. It's a CWE tour week, and so it's a little different. Not a lot of RCW coverage here, but thanks for listening, and we will talk to you again in a couple of weeks, okay?
Peace out.
Later, guys.